please, let's hear from our Congresswoman, Terry Sewell.
And I quote, "They are the martyred heroines of a holy crusade for freedom and human dignity. And so this afternoon, in a real sense, they have something to say to each and every one of us in their death. They say to each of us, white and black alike, that we must substitute courage for caution. They say to each of us that we must be concerned not merely about who murdered them, but about the system, the way of life, the philosophy who produced the murderers. Their death says to us that we must work passionately and unrelentingly for the realization of the American dream." Dr. Martin Luther King, eulogy, September 18th, 1963. My brothers and sisters, I am supposed to talk about rejoicing over our future. But I want you to know that we have so much more work to do. While many of us are proof positive that progress has been made, and I am grateful that that progress was made. Indeed, that progress was made on the backs of those that were murdered, those that fought, those that marched, those that prayed. We who are the direct beneficiaries of that movement, we owe them a debt of gratitude. But it's not enough that we just say thank you. Actions speak far greater than words. So instead of rejoicing, let us say that we're happy but cautiously optimistic. We have lots of work to do. And the best way that we can honor the legacy of these 4 little girls, who, by the way, they are emblematic of the sacrifices of so many. We cannot go a moment further in this program without acknowledging each and every family member. So will the McNair family please stand? The family members of Denise McNair. Will the Robertson family please stand? The family members of Carol Robertson. Will the Morris family please stand? The family members of Cynthia Morris Wesley. And you know, we had one lone survivor. There were 5 little girls that were in the basement of that church 50 years ago. One person lived to tell the story, lived through much pain and agony, but through it all, she held her head up high with great dignity. It is my honor to welcome, to stand up now, Sarah Collins Rudolph and the family of Addie Mae Collins. I believe that there is great irony and symbolism that because of the senseless deaths of 4 little black girls from Birmingham, that another little black girl from Selma gets to now walk the halls of Congress. Not only did I get to walk the halls of Congress, I want you to know that when I am frustrated, which is often, let's face it, we live and we have a very dysfunctional Congress right now. We can't come to terms with anything. But I was happy to know that we could come to terms and agree on a bipartisan basis that this nation must pay honor and tribute to those who have sacrificed so that we can live up to the democratic ideals that this country and our Constitution upholds. So I just want you to know that when I feel tired, when I don't think I can take it anymore, I walk past that glorious picture in the Capitol of one known as Shirley Chisholm, the first African-American woman to walk the halls of Congress. And I want you to know that when I walk past that portrait in the Capitol, the only portrait of an African-American in our nation's capital, I get a pep in my step. I get a little stride in my step. And I know that I can't be no ways tired. Because they fought the fight. And if they can do it, we can too. More importantly, we must do it. You know, when our brown brothers and sisters suffer from the same injustices that we did 50 years ago, we have work to do. When our prisons are overburning with people of color, men of color, we have work to do. When city and counties in our nation who are led and dominated by people of color are in bankruptcy, we have work to do. So there is lots of work to do. And just as they spoke to us 50 years ago in their death, they are speaking to us today. And they are saying, what will we, the Joshua generation, do? What will you, the millennial generation, do? It is not enough that we just reflect. We must rededicate ourselves to the movement and the cause for which they died. That is how we can pay honor and tribute to them. It is because Rosa sat that we can stand. Right? It's because John Lewis marched that we now have black elected officials. It is important that we remember that the price of freedom is never free. It was paid by somebody. It is still being paid by people. And we owe it to move this nation forward. Now, you know, Martin Luther King said that the arc of the universe is long, but it's bent towards justice. I have the honor of introducing our next speaker, who helps to make sure that that arc is bending towards justice. As our nation's first black Attorney General, Attorney General Eric Holder has built an enduring legacy. Attorney General Eric Holder has built an enduring legacy for being an influential visionary at the Justice Department. He will be remembered for being an enabling force, keeping the dream of those 4 little girls alive. His life and legacy is proof positive that their lives meant so much and their death was not in vain. In fulfilling their legacy, he has made effective change to our country's laws, making sure that all Americans are protected. I am proud of his recent decision to change the disparities between crack cocaine and powder cocaine in our nation's court system. Attorney General Holder stands up for our communities of color and changes the disparity between crack and cocaine so that you can go to jail just as long with powder cocaine as crack. He has called for major changes to our nation's criminal justice system to reduce overcrowding. And I am especially proud of Attorney General Holder for standing in the gap on the Voting Rights Act. The recent Supreme Court case tried to take did take the teeth out of preclearance. But I know that we have a person on the watch, watching over our democracy. And his name is Attorney General Eric Holder. And I want you to know that he has great ties to the great state of Alabama, for he has married one of its daughters. Dr. Sharon Malone, will you please stand? Dr. Sharon Malone is a native of Mobile and is the sister of a foot soldier of the civil rights movement, Vivian Malone Jones, who, along with another student, courageously walked past George Wallace to integrate the University of Alabama. And let me just say, when you see that we still have fraternities and sororities that choose to block because of race in our nation, in our state, we have to say there is work to be done. To the millennials, we have to say, where will you stand? Where will you stand when injustice and inequity arises? Let us hope that we all have the courage, like Attorney General Holder, to uphold this nation's Constitution and to fight for what is right. So I present to you all the 82nd Attorney General of these United States of America, Attorney General Eric Holder.
We're going to make comments to follow that. That's the best introduction I've ever heard.